All right. Again, thank you so much for joining this week's session of Lunch Break Learning with Coach Shaquan. Again, I have been chatting with the ladies who are joining me live on Zoom and those we are now on Instagram Live. And I am so excited. And I mentioned this before because God told me, He was like, okay, you've been doing this lunch break learning series. I told you to get out there, get people a break from lunch, from work. And during lunch, we're going to have these learning sessions. So we are on episode 9, which is kind of turned into a podcast. I'm not sure, kind of sure. We're kind of testing this thing out here. So today's topic again is, do you already have what you've been asking for? And so for those that may be new or not fully familiar with me, I am Coach Shaquan. I study how people communicate, connect, and show up in personal and professional relationships. I use my professional certification and training as a certified life and relationship coach, plus the goodness and all of the glory that the Lord has given me. And I'm really helping people to check what they are the belief systems that they've created, and making sure that they're showing up to be their best selves, right? In their authentic selves. I say from the bedroom to the boardroom and everywhere in between. So our topic today, do you have do you already have what you've been asking for? So this topic came up to me in my spirit. I'm very spirit led, and I really asked very, very specifically in asking God, how do you want me to serve? How do you want me to show up? What am I supposed to say? And this came up because I have found over the past couple of years in following this pattern of saying, I wish I had. Right? I wish I had, I wish I knew, and all of these different things. And what I realize is that I already have what I've been asking for. So oftentimes we really believe that we lack the resources and lack things that we want to achieve goals, or those things are wants and needs that we may want in our life. And so things like time and money and discipline and consistency and support, do those sound familiar to you, right? We say, oh, I wish I had more. And so I want to break this down in a couple of ways here. In telling my own story, I realized that there are 3 things that I used to go really, really hard on saying that I did not have. I don't have enough time. Okay, anybody with me? Let me know in the chats. Anybody else? I don't have enough time, right? I would say that if I could only have consistency, I could do these things, especially when it came to my health and wellness and my fitness journey. If I had more time, if I had more consistency, right, then I could do these things. And the third one was discipline. So those were my top 3. My top 3 is, I was asking for time, consistency, and discipline. Okay. So as we take these opportunities to show up in this space, we're learning, right? We're taking a minute for our lunch break learning. And so the conversation that or the opportunity to journal and go back and fill in the blanks, or kind of reflect on what we're talking about today. I want you to jot down or make notes somewhere of the 3 things that you've been asking for. Think about things that you feel like you don't have, you need more. And if you had these things, life would be better. It would be better. It would be greater. It would be easier. What are those 3 things? I mentioned mine were time, consistency, and discipline. So somewhere in the chat, if you want to list it here. Again, we are also doing this live in Zoom, and I've already got an ouch. Yes, the time. It is the time, right? So let me tell you a story. I wrote this in my newsletter. So if you or if you're on my e-list, you may have read this already. A couple of years ago, it was during COVID when we were doing a lot of exploring of really trying to figure out what in the entire right, is happening with life. I remember asking my husband, I was like, what is something you would change about me? Like, what is something that you don't like? Oh, that's what it was. Oh, that's what it was. I asked him, I said, what is something that you don't like about me, or something that you would change? Now, pause. It was risky. hmm So I had to really dig into my feelings, and we had a whole conversation, because one of the things that I love to say and I believe in is that hurt feelings are the gatekeepers to truth. Okay. Hurt feelings are the gatekeepers to truth. Y'all go ahead and write that down. Hashtag check your BS and let them know Coach Shaquan let you know. So oftentimes when our feelings get hurt, it is usually tied to a truth that we have either not accepted or that we were completely unaware. Okay. So in this particular instance, I asked my husband the question, right? Bracing my truth or bracing my feelings for his truth and the feedback that he would give me. And you know what he said? I don't like that you disrespect time. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I don't like that you disrespect time. I had to clutch all of my pearls. I was like, wait, what? I'm thinking it was going to be something else. I honestly thought it was going to be, and I wrote this about the dishwasher because we have this discourse. I didn't grow up with a dishwasher. He did. And it used to be this thing. I would put all the dishes in the dishwasher and he'd come right behind me and change them up. And I'm like, well, what? Well, you should like what? And so I'm thinking he's going to say, I don't like the way you load the dishwasher. I don't know. I don't like the way, I don't know what I thought. He said that you disrespect time. And I'm like, well, I had to really go back and think of this. And I'm like, wow, do you know how often I say, if I had more time or I don't have enough time? And he was very honest in saying, because if you had an extra hour, you probably F that off too. Okay. So it had me really looking at time in a different way. See, this is one of those things that we ask for and we already have, yet we disrespected or we are disobedient with the time that we have. So it's not that you don't have enough time, it's what you're doing with the time that you have. Does that make sense? So I want you to take a minute to journal or think about, again, the things that you wrote down. And time seems to be one for a lot of people. So if you want to use time, you use time because that's what I'm using. Is it about the resources or is it about the relationship? Ooh, wait, what, coach? Yeah. Is it about the resource of time or is it about the relationship that you have with time? Hmm. Let me break this down on how it showed up for me again. When we think about relationships, right? Because I'm going to be in a teaching mode. Relationships are defined by how you communicate, how you connect, and how you show up. Okay. Relationships are defined by how you communicate, how you connect, and how you show up. So when I looked at those three things and I compared them to my time, how am I communicating about time and with time? Okay. How am I connecting with time? And how am I showing up with time? And I can finish that last one late. Hmm. Now, mind you, this has been a journey to learn. So I'm a lot better. Now, ask some people at the gym because, yes, I will show up a little late. Just be like minutes, I like to talk. But the truth of the matter is that the relationship that I was having with time was toxic. Or if we want to use the terms in which I teach and I coach on, they were catabolic. Okay. We talk about things in terms of energy. So the energy and the relationship that I had with time, and this may be true for you. And let me know again if you're in the chat on Zoom or if you are joining me live on Instagram. Think about the energy that's involved in that. A lot of people talk about energy. I'm here to teach you about it. Okay. So we define energy in two different ways: catabolic, catabolic energy. And I said that a little too on the upper end because we define them in catabolic and anabolic. So catabolic energy. Actually, you know what? Let's start with anabolic because I like to start with that first because it gives the better vibe. Okay. So anabolic energy, it's healing, constructive, and success focused. Anabolic energy happens when your body is not under stress. It tells your brain, okay, so we can release these hormones that are meant to produce growth and focus and creativity and all of the things that really put us in our best place, have us in our most authentic state when we're having access to the anabolic energy. On the flip side, there's catabolic energy. Okay, so think about catabolic energy. Mm, mm, mm. Catabolic is draining, destructive, and fear-based. And when our bodies are under stress, when we're under a lot of stress, our body, we need to get through it. And so our brain says, hey, let's release something to help, right? So think of an adrenaline, think of anything that helps you to push through. It also comes with headaches, heartaches, backache, stress, anxiety, worry, overwhelm. all the things that make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulder are related to catabolic energy. Okay. I had someone to ask, hey, can you repeat that? Of course I can. So there's two types of energy. And even when we think about energy, energy is really in terms of self-awareness, it's everything we hear, taste, smell, touch, and see. And those are our five senses, which then gives us a perception of what we like or dislike about people, places, things, or situations. Okay. And if there is someone that's taking notes and you want to jot them down for us as we're talking, because I'm multitasking here, we described the first one as anabolic, okay? Anabolic is healing, constructive, and success focused. Anabolic, Anabolic, anabolic energy. And then on the flip side, it's the catabolic, Catabol. That's spell that right? I see. I don't know if that's right. It'll be in the notes. Okay. Catabolic energy is draining, destructive, and fear-based. And so when you think about time in relation to that, I had a catabolic relationship with time. It was draining, destructive, and it was fear-based. Feeling like I did not have enough, I would always ask and pray for more time. And then I remember hearing the Spirit tell me, oh, why? Because we all have 24 hours in a day. You get to choose what you're doing with that time. So again, it's the resource. It's not the resource, it's the relationship that you may have with time or some of the other things that you may have named. Okay. So when we can really understand the difference between the catabolic, that draining, destructive, fear-based, and then the anabolic, which is the healing, constructive, and success focus, then we can check our BS, right? Check the belief systems that we've created about the things that we don't have, right? So let's take a moment and really think about the list. And if you're joining me or have joined while we've been talking here, the assignment is, or the conversation we're talking is, do you already have what you've asked for? And for me, it was time. Yet I was able to blame, right? And really not be accountable that I was wasting time, that my relationship, right? How I was communicating, connecting, and showing up, it wasn't working. So the other example that I gave was consistency. Now, again, I don't know if this is true for you. Let me tell you my story. I started my workout journey and really getting serious. Well, I've started and stopped, started and anybody, hello, say it with me. Say it's not you, coach. It's me too. Okay. Started, stopped, it started, stopped, started, stopping, which again is a catabolic relationship that I had with consistency. It was not that I did not have consistency. I had it. You have it. It's how are you in relationship with that? See, because I was consistent in making excuses. I was consistent in not wanting to do the things and really honoring my word. I was consistent in being disobedient. Mm, I said it. Am I talking to you, talking to me? Who am I talking to? Again, do you already have what you've been asking for? And so through this journey, which at the time of this, right now, today, I'm on week 93. Hello. I'm usually about 3 times a week. I'm showing up maybe a couple minutes late. I found a whole new community of friends. And it's so interesting because this is a new stage in life. Like I've not been to places over the last couple of years where people don't know me or people don't know anything about me. So it's been very interesting to be in this new space and really having and learning a new relationship, right, with the things that I've been asking for. See, I found those things when I started being those things and being those things in an anabolic way. Okay. The comment over here says consistent with making excuses. Come on now. Do you hear? Check the belief systems that you've created. You already have what you've been asking for. It is not the resource, it is the relationship, how you are communicating, connecting, and showing up with the things that you say you don't have. Okay. The other thing that, and these are true for me, and again, whatever may be true for you, whatever may be true for you, it is about discipline. That was the other thing. I'm like, if I had more discipline, oh, I need self-discipline. Oh, that's the thing that's missing, self-discipline. Okay, so I'm a words girl. I love to know the meaning of words. I love to look up words, all of those good things. And so by one of the definitions of discipline was a rule or system of rules. So wait, I was telling myself that I did not have the discipline to get certain things done, specifically around working out and exercising and eating right and health and all of those good things. I did not have the discipline for that yet. I was disciplined in eating unhealthy things. I was disciplined in laying up in that bed when it was time to get up and go work out. I had the discipline, I had the consistency, I had the time, yet I would complain, okay, about not having those things. So when I think about this word discipline, again, a rule or system of rules. So here's your journal prompt. Thinking about the things that you have written down in terms of the things that you've been asking for. So I asked you to write down 3 things that you've been asking for that you don't already have, that you think you need or you may be lacking. Discipline was one of those for me. And what helped me was to do this exercise called Old Rules, New Rules. Okay. Because discipline is a rule or a system of rules. So having to go back and check the belief systems that I've created. Okay. Belief systems being defined as a group of habitual thoughts that you place your trust and confidence in. And then you use the feeling to determine what's good, bad, right, or wrong. Okay. Belief system is a group of habitual thoughts that you place your trust and confidence in, and then you use the feeling to determine what's good, bad, right, or wrong. So I had a rule or a system in terms of what discipline meant to me and how I was using that. So this assignment of being able to create old rules, new rules, I want you to create the old rules that you've created about these things. Okay. What are some old rules that you've created? I can tell you one for time. And I put this up. I saw a meme on this the other day and I posted it. My toxic trait is thinking that I can get anywhere in 15 minutes. Okay. Okay. Where we gotta be? We gotta be somewhere at 1 o'clock. Okay, we can leave at 12:45. Now, I ain't started getting ready. I hadn't packed up anything. I haven't checked the traffic. Yet I had a rule that it only took, right? A discipline that it would only take 15 minutes for me to get anywhere I need to go. So do you understand how that can be very catabolic when you're creating these rules and you have this belief system and you have this set way of doing things, and yet you're asking for these things that you already have? hmm I'm seeing in some of the comments here on IG, you're talking to me. I'm talking to you, talking to me. Okay. We already have these things. And so it is very, it becomes a place where we must be accountable and really look at the things that we're asking for. And again, reference back. Is it the resource that I'm missing? I hear all the time support. I don't have support. People don't support me. Is it really that you don't have support? Or is it the relationship that you've created about support and who should support you and why and when they should support you that is causing the problem? You already have what you've been asking for. Here's another thing, another point to make reference to. When you are thinking about your lack, okay, we often say, I don't have. I don't have enough time. I don't have the consistency. I don't have the discipline. Everything was about don't. If you go back and listen to one of the replays we did with lunch break learning, it was 5 words that are killing your conversation. It was a good one too. I think all of them are good, to tell you the truth, but that's just me. You got to ask the people. You got to listen for yourself. I'll put the link for the replays where you can go back and check those out. The conversation that we were having about the 5 words that are killing your conversation, one of the words that we could add to that is the word don't. Don't is a catabolic word. Don't, the word don't, right? Do not references lack, to be without. And so if you keep telling yourself, right, you will start believing that. It goes into your belief system, right? The group of habitual thoughts that you've created. And then you begin to live or be in relationship, right? How you communicate, connect, and show up with the belief system that you've created about what you don't have. Okay, is that making sense? Using words, specifically, I'm talking about what you don't have, is very catabolic, draining, destructive, fear based. And so if you continue to tell yourself what you don't have, you'll believe it. And then there's no accountability. Your effort or energy towards getting those things becomes low. You may begin to feel defeated, deflated, disappointed. Like all of these things, if you can feel it, right? Pay attention to the way it makes you feel. It feels very catabolic, right? Anxious, worry, overwhelmed, stress, those types of things. Simply because you've used a word, which you've lied, because you do have it. It is the relationship that is catabolic in that. So shifting your thoughts and being accountable for saying, I don't have time, or I don't have consistency, or I don't have support, or I don't have this, I don't have that. Let's talk about what you do have. All right. So again, in my instance, I do have opportunities where I can tighten up on my time, right? I do have the ability to expand my thinking beyond this 15 minutes of arrival, because really that's not working for me. So we focus less on what's good, bad, right, or wrong, and we really look at what works. So if you know the things that you are asking for, the places where you feel that you have lack, and you don't, if don't is the key word that you're using, that's not working for you. And so let's talk about what you do have. I got two more points I want to make before we end for today's lunch break learning with Coach Shaquan. Let's talk about capacity. Ooh, child. I will tell a client in a minute or ask the question. I'm asking you this. Okay. How about this? Write this down. This is another journal. And I'm going to speak in my person. I guess this is first person in speaking on your behalf here. Do I have the capacity to receive what I've been asking for? Let me ask that again. I want you to write this down and answer for yourself. Do I have the capacity to receive what I've been asking for? Now, again, if you've listened to me long enough, if you know me, you see the God in me, all of that, right? As for me and my humans in this house, we serve the Lord, okay? And so it becomes this conversation that I find myself having with God, and I'm asking, I want more, I want increase, right? They say, ask for increase. You have not because you ask not, like all of these different things. Pause though. Do you have the capacity to receive it? You want more time? What would I do with more time? Remember, I told you at the beginning, my husband was like, you would F it off anyway, right? So do I have the capacity to receive what I've been asking for? Or are you already in an abundance of those things and you lack the accountability to execute? Oh, that was good. Was that good? I thought it was good, right? Do you already have the capacity, or do you not have the capacity to receive? I can't even repeat what I said. It was good. You need to catch that, or you're going to have to go back and listen to the replay. But truly thinking about capacity, right? So why would he, right? And from my perspective, I believe in the Lord. I believe in, that's me. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ, and our Heavenly Father, and the Holy Spirit, right? Trifecta. Why would I be given more when I've been disobedient with less? So do you really have all of the things that you've been asking for? Do you already have those things? Yes. Why would you be blessed with more? Why would you be given more when you've been disobedient with what you already have? Do you have the capacity to receive what you've been asking for? Or do you need to consume? Do you need to create? What is it that you can do with what you already have? to really reach the goals and the opportunities and the dreams and the visions that you have. And I'm talking about those things from the bedroom to the boardroom and everywhere in between. You see, oftentimes we will begin to compare our lives, what we have, with what someone else has, and judge it as greater or better or less or worse, and all of these different things, especially when you don't feel like you have enough. So, do you really already have what you've been asking for? And how can you be more accountable for the type of relationship you have and rid yourself of the excuses or the blame about the resources? Because until we begin to do that, we will continue to ask. It's like asking and storing up these blessings and these gifts and these talents and these opportunities to really stand into the truth of who you were created to be. You want a relationship? Okay. What are you bringing? Do you have relationship? Are you communicating, connecting, and showing up? You want a new house, you want a new job, you want a new career. You have these things, but we must stand in obedience and be able to show that we can receive what we've been asking for on top of what we already have. That's what I got for you today. That's lunch break learning with Coach Shaquan. I'm so happy that you all have joined. If you feel so inclined, I want you to go ahead and let's take a deep breath in and let it out. And let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you've been following me for some time, if you join in any other lunch break learning, the individuals, the ladies, hey y'all that are in the Zoom room, we're going to stay on afterwards because we like to take a little extra lunch break to have a little extra conversation. But I invite you to follow me here on Instagram. There's a link in my bio that you can sign up for future lunch break learnings or join my list, my e-list, to get notified of all the goodness that's going on. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Tell a friend. We'll be back next week with a new topic. But again, if you're on live here in on IG, I'm gonna let you go. Peace. And then if you're here in the Zoom room, let's get going. Okay.